Hi everyone. In this how-to video, we're going to look at how to grade student work. One of the great new features of Google Classroom in recent months and years is that you now have the ability to grade the student work, provide comments, give drafts upon drafts, take a look at student work as it gets turned in, and then return it to students, all under the classwork stream. So what I've done here is our practice Google Classroom for the professional development, and you'll see how easy it is to grade work. Now, what we're going to look at is just an eighth grade ELA assignment on A Midsummer Night's Dream. And the content isn't as important as the actual process. So let's get to it. So I logged on to the Google Classroom. Now I'm serving the role as the teacher here. And you know if it's you based on your icon that you put in. All right, so then I'm going to go to classwork, and I'm going to see this is my classwork page here, and I have my Shakespeare unit. And I can see here that here's the assignment that I created, and I just had students post their completed essays here for me to grade. So I've got one student who turned it in, so I'm going to click on that. And here is where all the student work for this assignment would be located. So if you have a class of 25 or what have you, all the student work that's been turned in will be listed here. So to start grading, you just click on an essay. Sophie Coates is my daughter. And a lot of times when Google makes changes, they have here, they'll give you these little info boxes, which is super helpful because it tends to change, little changes a lot. Send them back. Okay, so here's the essay. And up here, it looks very similar to your regular Google Doc, as if you were looking at the Google Doc in Docs and not in Classroom. One big difference here is this mode that it's in. Normally, the default is set for editing mode, but when you are grading in Google Classroom, it's set for suggesting mode, so that suggestions that you make turn into comments for students. Now over here is where you can add your private comments and the grade and return it back to students. But there's a few different ways that you can give students feedback, which are pretty advanced for Google Classroom users. But once you get going, you're going to feel like this, you can't believe you didn't grade papers like this before. So we're going to hide this panel just so that I like to have more space here, but I'm still in suggestion mode and I'm still all here. So what I have here is just an essay on A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's talking about Shakespeare's poetry and all of that word choice. But let's say I wanted to have a better introduction. So I would highlight here, and you can comment here, add a comment, and you could type better introduction with a more varied use of adjectives. And then you click comment. And then now, because the student has access to this, he or she will see the comments there and can go in and make the changes. When they make the changes, they'll click resolve. Now, a lot of times our emails are set for the default to be that you will see whenever a student makes a comment or resolves a comment, and they will see when you make a comment. So you can get an email. You can also turn that feature off if you don't want to. So that's one way to comment and give feedback to students. Another way is to use the bank, the comment bank. And that is really great. And you want to turn in your, you want to create rather your comments in your comment bank. Now, a lot of us know that students can sometimes make the same mistakes over and over again, different students. And so sometimes it's helpful just to have, a bank of comments, thesis, don't include the word I, no first person, only write in third person, watch your capitalization, things like that. So you can create comments in the comment bank. So this is just a little tutorial here, the first time you log on for that, and you can go through that. You can add a comment to the comment bank. Let's say, please capitalize. Add that, and then that goes to the comment bank, and you can copy. One way to do it is you can copy to the clipboard, And then you can put in here if you would like. Comment. That's one way to do it. Please capitalize. Here, comment. Another way to do it is right from the document, just as we did with this one. You can go right here and you can click the comment and look at what happens. Please look at it, comes right up, almost like an auto, and then you click comment. So now you've got those both there. And you can see that, it highlights, when you don't highlight something, it highlights the whole paragraph, but you can take that out. Then you can also make a private comment, which is good if you just want the student to know perhaps this is a final draft and you want them to know this is a great draft, well done. Or maybe it's a rough draft and you want them to know this needs some work, please look at my comments. This also goes to the email for students, and then they can also write the private comments back. But what makes them private is that it's only between you and your students. You can also write whole class comments, and that's in another area of that. So let's say we put great first draft, keep it up, and then you post. And then the student can go back, make changes. They can look at it and say, I'm going to do the capitalization, I'm going to do my thesis, and all of that good stuff. One thing to note is that once a student turns in an assignment, they lose editing rights until you return it back to them. So it does become very helpful, especially if you're doing multiple drafts of something, that you make sure that you turn it back into them. But they can also, on their end, unsubmit, which then gives them their editing rights back. So it's either way is fine. But let's say we've now got a final draft and the student scored a 95 out of the 100 points. And they're all done, and you can click return. And I'm going to return work to one student. And it's going to take return. And then the student will get a message with that it's been returned, and then it has a grade. And it will show the grade in their email. You can return it one by one as you grade, or you can return it all at once by clicking here. And then this button would be blue, and you would click return. So there's lots of ways to give feedback for students as you grade in Google Classroom.